Hey there, welcome to the third attempt at the exact same show. Uh, all right, let me share. Last Saturday, we were supposed to do this show, and well, our friend Cookie had a death in the family, and so we decided to postpone, and uh, and so we scheduled it for today, and well, a little while ago, I actually hit to start the stream by accident. So okay, and so I went from having it scheduled for about 6 hours to actually having to like scramble the last half hour to get everything back up, do a new stream, get it. I'm surprised if anybody shows up after that, but we'll see if anybody shows up. Well, let me go ahead and bring on the usual suspects. You know them, you love them. We'll start with
If it's no Scottish, it's crap!
Hey, good evening. How is everyone doing?
Well, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
Yeah, hey. Let me bring on this guy. See if he's sober enough to function. Well, let's bring him on.
Abby someone.
Abby someone.
Abby who? Abby normal.
Yeah, I can see where this is going. All right. Anyway.
Abby has been replaced by Wookie.
No!
All right. Well, speaking of people who talk with their mouth full on my stream, let me bring this guy on.
Sir, nobody worries about upsetting a droid.
It's because a droid don't pull people's arms out of their sockets when they lose. Wookiees are known to do that.
Hey.
C is for Cookie, and that's good enough for me.
I just thought of it. You know, Wookie often eats, and Abby's eating right now. I'm gonna do my trade federation. This is getting out of hand. Now there are two of them.
Oh man.
They went down to the donation shop.
All right. My favorite conspiracy is Hollow Earth. We'll have to do that one of these days.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
And yeah, we'll definitely have to do that one of these days.
Oh, definitely.
That's Admiral Byrd. You can do the whole thing with Admiral Byrd.
There's all kinds of different ones. There's Shambhala. There's the Admiral Byrd thing. Mm-hmm. There's a whole bunch of different ones.
Right, Shangri-La. That's one. Actually, Paul Byrd, a friend of mine, is a ancestor of Admiral Byrd.
Oh,
so,
really?
Yeah. We brought him on when we did it with Cannabis and Conspiracies. But tonight we're going to talk about furry people, but not Wookiees.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about him.
No, we don't want to talk about him
unless he's not here. Yeah. Then we can talk about him all we want.
Yeah. It's not fun if you're here. It's not fun if you're here. Anyway.
Right.
Yay.
So what we're going to talk about is the Yeti. All right. Now,
hey, you know what? That's a square thing. You know, I don't want to deal with no Wookiee Yetis. I mean, they're square, they're cold, and they don't like 2A people. So, whatever.
I thought it was a WCW wrestler.
I thought it was a cooler.
No.
Put your beer in.
Cooler. Yeah. Cooler.
No. None of those things are what we're talking about. Yeti. Okay? None of them. All right. Anyway.
It's not wrestling then.
As near as I can tell,
not a
okay,
wrestler. Apparently.
Sasquatch and Yeti are pretty much they're pretty much the very same creature, except that Yetis are above a certain parallel and certain cold environments, and Sasquatch is usually.
So you mean they're like cousins?
Okay.
Hey, don't leave out the Yaren.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're just gonna deal with Sasquatch and Yeti. Okay. All right. Now, Sasquatch stories usually are as follows.
Would I be
Go ahead.
Right? Would I be right in thinking that the difference is pretty much the same as a Siberian tiger and a normal tiger, that kind of thing?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Basically, people say that Yeti are more bear-like than humanoid, but then again, there's also the abominable snowman, which is also considered a Yeti, and the abominable snowman. And it happens to the Bumble. We'll just call it the Bumble. Anyway.
I'm not just saying that drunk.
Yukon Cornelius.
Yukon.
Yep. Anyway. All right. It's considered more humanoid, but essentially it's the same thing as Yeti. But anyway, so we're
Time Prophet's here.
All right, Time Prophet. How you doing? Happy New Year.
Time Prophet's in the house.
Let the games begin.
What I just said, Time Prophet. It's what I just said, Time Prophet.
Captain's in the house. Captain's
all right.
Hey,
yeah.
So they're cousins. They're different. They're like the difference between a chimpanzee and an orangutan.
No, not even that.
No,
not even that. It's more like
it's
more like
cookies
Western
and
gorilla. It's more like Western gorilla and Eastern gorilla. You know, I mean, it's just they're pretty much.
Well, they're cousins, though.
Very much
come
the
on.
same.
They got to be cousins.
All right, I'll give you cousin. All right.
You know, that means they're
typed it
parkour.
before you said it. All right. All right. Anyway. So okay. All right. But the thing about the Sasquatch stories is Sasquatch stories are usually as follows. Okay. Sasquatch gets seen. Sasquatch runs and hides.
Right. Yeah.
That's
generally,
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, generally a Sasquatch story. Now, but the Yeti stories, they are pretty much Yeti gets seen. Yeti cuts a bitch. Okay.
They're always
a lot more sinister and a lot more scarier. There's a lot more aggression there. So,
what's
that?
Are you saying that a Yeti goes Rick James on people?
I'm saying that. I'm saying a Yeti pretty much. A Yeti is pretty much like instead of like, oh no, you saw me, let me hide behind a tree. Yeti's like, okay, you saw me, okay, I'm gonna kill you now.
Now it's time for lunch.
Yeah,
right, exactly.
Yeah, okay. All right, so there. Let me go ahead and play my first little clip here. This was actual Yeti sighting.
They're robots, actually.
Supposedly an already Yeti
Prophet.
sighting. So,
they're robots from Doctor Who.
yeah, well.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's classic. That's classic Doctor Who. Now they would be gay. But anyway.
Possibly gay.
All right,
gay
so
robots.
let me go ahead and.
They're gay.
Yeah, gay.
They're gay and
everything.
they have an
Gay
OnlyFans.
Gay bots. Gay bots.
There you go. There you go.
And they've got their OnlyFans. There you go.
Yeah. Evidently, that's all that they can write now is gay everything. So anyway, all right. So let me play this. This is an actual Yeti sighting, and it has the usual suspect. It has the usual expert. Okay. What's the description of the usual experts that we see? What's the description? Anyone?
Some limp-wristed dumbass.
Yeah.
White lesbian looking chick.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I got that wrong, didn't I?
Blurry video.
Yeah. There you go.
Blurry.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Let me play this one. So, I bet it's a blurred video. Well, no, we'll see. We'll see. Here we go.
There is one more piece of evidence that some believe might solve forever the mystery of the Yeti. In 1996, video footage from the mountains of Nepal, called the Snow Walker video, claimed to have captured for the first time the actual abominable snowman. The tape shows a male and female hiker from Belgium who fill 45 minutes of video footage with typical vacation shots of Nepal and their trek through the Himalayas. While climbing a hill, the cameraman turns back to shoot the couple's own footprints in the snow. Suddenly, the camera captures a strange figure.
Of course, this film has no context whatsoever. You don't know who made it, you don't know where it was shot, you don't know when it was shot. So basically, this is not evidence, unless you can actually track down the source and ask these people some serious questions.
The videotape seems highly suspect. The couple who taped this purported Yeti encounter have refused to reveal their identities publicly. The source of the tape, and indeed the actual location of the encounter, remain unrevealed.
The simple explanation for this tape would be the couple and their friend in the gorilla suit came up the trail, walked up the hill. He sat down there next to the trail, waited for him. The folks got halfway up the hill, turned around, turned on the camera and said, "Okay, Fred, time to walk." And the guy in the gorilla suit gets up and he starts walking away and floundering through the snow.
Jeff Meldrum is a university primatologist whose interest in ape and gorilla locomotion led him into a study of the Yeti. He believes that analysis of the video makes a hoax unlikely.
My first reaction was, in watching the Snowwalker footage, was akin to one of the first times I had seen a gorilla up close in a zoo. Its movement and some of the postures that it adopted were strikingly ape-like in character. At the same time, however, I was intrigued because then it sort of made a transition from that ape-like posture into a fully upright posture.
Though relative size of the creature is hard to determine, comparison of the tracks on the video seem to show that the creature's footprints are significantly larger than the human's footprints.
I am quite confident in my estimate of scale, which was derived from the witness's snowshoe trackway. Using that trackway as a scale, the subject had to be in excess of 9 feet tall. When you are confident of a size in excess of 9 feet, you have to ask, where did they find an actor to fill that costume?
Whether or not this video proves to be evidence of the abominable snowman, it adds another piece to the convoluted jigsaw puzzle that is the hunt for the Yeti.
So here's my observation on that. Here's my observation on that. Okay. First off, take into consideration the footprints that have been found back in the early 20th century, 1920s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, all the way up through 2019, when there was several different trackways of Yeti footprints found by the Indian Army doing. They have a mountaineering squad, and this squad consisted of 2 officers, 2 non-com officers, and 11 other men. And they were near Nepal at the time, and they were up several thousand feet up a mountain. And in the snow, they came across a trackway of footprints that looked very human-like. The only thing was, now these things were spaced over 4 feet apart.
Right.
Okay. They were over 4 feet. The normal human, 6 foot tall human, takes roughly about a 2.5 foot stride. They had 4 foot strides in a straight line in the snow. These footprints they measured them with photos and everything, 15 inches wide at the widest and 32 inches long. That means whatever that son of a bitch was at least 10 to 12 feet tall. That creature in this video, in my opinion, shouldn't be struggling in the snow if it's a 10 to 12 foot tall Yeti with a 4 foot wide span. It's buried in the snow up to its knees. There is other video from a distance of a creature similar looking than that actually bulldozing their way through the freaking snow up the side of a mountain at a consistent pace.
One thing, the incline.
Yes,
the
exactly.
Incline.
Yes, incline.
The incline is why I think that that was the thing. Whatever it was struggling. So because the incline was like that, So
I know. I know. It's more.
It doesn't matter how big and
degrees.
beefy you are.
Probably
You're going to struggle
degrees.
in an incline like that. Yeah.
But but you. The thing is, though, the video that I was referencing where it was snow plowing through was at an incline. It could have been a 45-degree incline. I don't know. But
moving on. You're getting we're getting bogged down in minutia. We're getting bogged down. All right, so let me get caught up on the comments that you're not posting.
No
so
such
there's no such thing as classic Doctor Who's. There's Doctor Who. After 89, it's all fan fiction Doctor Who.
I know.
Well, I like 9, 10, and 11 pretty well. So I'm gonna say no. All right. Did you just see the dark ones hide and white ones wild out? Something like that. Something like that. I bet it's a blurred video. Is it a lesbian from a trailer park? Yeah. During intermission, snacks and drinks are available counter down the block. Okay. So I see what you were doing instead of showing like the actual comments here. All right. So Yeti could do great parkouring down that mountain. Okay, thank you.
All right, Gobby.
This Bigfoot, Yeti, Sasquatch, and of course abominable snow person.
Happy New Year.
Snow person.
Yeah, snow person.
Oh God.
Told you it would be blurred. Okay, all right.
Actually, that wasn't blurred. It was just a distance.
Yeah. Jenny from the Cell Block H, LOL. But Cell Block H is Australian. How would you know about it? Man in a monkey suit is also a block. There you go. Time Prophet Shush. There you go. All right. Okay. All right. I can give many simple explanations. None of them may be true. And never trust anyone with a mustache. That's fake news. And all right. How many times are we going to repeat the same footage? Yeah. All right. So evidently he's talkative tonight. He's talkative tonight. All right.
Ever so slightly.
So
Yeah.
so nobody can make a foot template out of a piece of wood, and right. And then stilts. I'm off to hit the sack, but needed to pop in here. Wish y'all a happy New Year. Happy New Year, Gobby.
Happy New Year, Gobby.
All right. So that's just basically establishing that there may or may not be Yeti out there. Okay. So that's just establishing their bona fides. Now, one of the scariest stories involving a Yeti happens to be the Yartloff Pass incident.
Oh yeah, Yartloff. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay.
So let me go ahead and play a
Picture of something too.
kind of
The last
synopsis.
photograph on their camera they found.
Yeah, I'm gonna play that too, but yeah, I'm just gonna play like a synopsis of it right quick. Here you go.
In 1959, a group of 9 hikers set out on a trek through the Ural Mountains in Russia. On the night of February 2nd, a snowstorm hit the area, and the group never returned from their trek. After a search and rescue team was sent out, the group's tent was found collapsed and abandoned, with cuts and tears on the tent from the inside. Some of the bodies showed signs of severe injuries, including skull fractures and internal injuries, but there were no external wounds that could explain the cause of death. The strange circumstances surrounding the deaths of the hikers have led to many theories and speculations. Some even suggest that the hikers were killed by extraterrestrial beings. Despite numerous investigations, including a recent one in 2019, the cause of the Dyatlov Pass incident remains a mystery.
Yeah, they tried to. I remember.
Well, I say they were polar bears, and they were pissed off because those guys were hoarding the Coca-Cola, and they wouldn't give it to them.
Sounds about right.
No, I know that there was a documentary they tried to rationalize the injuries, but I don't know. I mean, at first, when they went out there and they found the bodies and they examined the bodies and they had a coroner examine the bodies, I mean the severity of the injuries. I mean, one woman, the doctor or coroner said she looks like she was in an auto accident.
Right.
The force,
right,
the trauma that was done to her body was that, was akin to of someone being hit by a car, going at top speed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
but so there was a picture in their cameras that found in their film. So
the last
right
picture in the film. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ural Mountains, Russia. February 2nd, 1959, 9 college students hiked up the icy slopes of the Ural Mountains but never made it out alive. The case was never solved. The reports mentioned that some of the students' bodies were found with broken ribs and fractured skulls, one hiker mutilated with her eyes gouged out and tongue removed. American explorer Mike Lebecki reinvestigates the mystery, known as the Dyatlov Pass incident. But what he uncovers is truly shocking. Tents were slashed from the inside and some of the victims left their clothing behind freezing temperature. Lebecki teamed up with Igor Burtsev, a Russian Yeti expert. Both men believe that the Russian Yeti is responsible for the massacre based on the evidence they have gathered.
Well, you see, I was always under the impression that Yetis had white fur, like a polar bear.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's that about?
Well, the Abominable Snowman, the cartoon had the stop motion had him as white fur.
And
most accounts that
Snow Beast film, that was white fur as well.
Right. Well, but most accounts, like the Himalayan temple incident, things like that, Most of the time the Yeti is dark fur. So
yeah, like a dark
yeah,
brown
so
or
that's
dark reddish, like a red brown. There
yeah,
have been some sightings in the Northwest in Canada of a white Bigfoot type creature, or like a dirty gray, more like more akin to what you would see like a wolf or a coyote, kind of that type of
kind of speckled
color. Yeah, more to the grays than anything that would more represent would more appear to be white, but yeah.
Aye.
Well,
I get
some of them may have, but they were uncovered later. They were found in what would be kind of like a ditch.
Yeah.
But the kind of damage that was done to them, was just really extensive and really severe. So that wouldn't explain what the damage that was done to them. And I don't know what you're even talking about. They didn't say that he spoke Russian, so I don't have any idea what that comment even is.
It could have been Ukrainian, Time Prophet. Who knows? Well, one thing about that video, they call in the video they call these 9 people students. These 9 people were not students. They were young.
No.
Some of them, not all. There were some, people who were. A couple of them were in their 30s, late 20s. Most of them were in their early 20s. They were licensed, experienced guides and hikers. They were,
and
that's what
one that was probably KGB. There's this older guy that went out with them.
Yep, exactly.
The older guy that went out with them that was shady as hell.
Yep, exactly.
Shady dude.
But
as a matter of fact, you see all these pictures and they're all hanging out with each other, and then there's this one guy, this mustached older guy off to the side.
Yeah.
And everybody's kind of like leaning away from him.
He's probably the
Spetsnaz. He's a Spetsnaz. There you go.
Yeah.
Spetsnaz.
But to say they were students, but to say they were the students is not completely accurate. They were all, some were students, and I think a handful of them were getting their, after this trip, they were going to get their certification, but everybody else was certified with experience in cold weather. You have to understand, this is for cold weather hiking and stuff like that. They had everything they needed. And nobody in their right fucking mind, right mind, they would tear open a tent to get the hell out in the middle of the freaking snow.
Let me go ahead. Once again, Time Prophet hasn't read up on this. But the kind of damage that, yes, there are soft tissue damages that could have happened from animals coming along and like doing what animal things do to the carcasses. But that doesn't explain the extensive internal injuries and force trauma that would happen to the bodies.
Yeah, the blunt force trauma in some of these people were pretty extensive.
Pretty extreme.
Yeah. You don't. Some little animal coming along and eating your tongue out. It's not the same as looking like.
And there would be evidence of it too. You would be able to see. You'd be able to see teeth marks and etc. on that. With predation.
Which is true. You can be students in your 50s. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yep. So you're right about that. But but that particular incident, it's it's kind of become mixed up with Yeti lore, and the fact that picture showed up in their camera kind of towards the end or whatever, and went pretty much close to where they died. The landmarks on that picture is pretty close to where they made their last stand or whatever happened to them. But it's been mixed up in Yeti lore. There really isn't any Sasquatch stories similar to that. I mean, do you know of any Sasquatch stories of people being brutally murdered and then, and then, it being attributed or being pictures of a Sasquatch or whatever,
What was that one? What was that one we did a while ago where the guy was absolutely brutalized in the woods? Remember
that? That was Portlock.
Actually,
that was Portlock, Alaska. Yep. Portlock, Alaska, and that was
Portlock.
This
is the Nananaktuk.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Nanticoke.
now it was attributed to Sasquatch, but if our definition of Yeti holds true, the Yeti is this is actually close to the Arctic Circle, where the
Portlock,
Yeti is
Alaska.
considered. It's almost the Ural Mountains are almost on the same parallel as Portlock, Alaska. So,
Okay.
I mean, why would you call that
parts of Alaska? The sightings of a Bigfoot type creature do involve more violence toward humans than say in the Pacific Northwest.
Well, so I'm basically calling I'm calling whatever this is. They call it a Nananaktuk or whatever, but I'm definitely calling this a Yeti. Just because it's not like there is snow in Portlock. There was snow around
snow,
this incident.
ice, yeah, it's pretty nasty.
So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm calling this guy a Yeti. I'm not gonna call him a Sasquatch. Sasquatch is lower down. Tenacious D is always singing about Sasquatch. Yeah. Yeah, they're also running their mouths too much in concerts too. We'll just say
they are, yeah.
Blue Oyster Cult sings about
we'll just
Godzilla.
Godzilla.
All right.
Godzilla. All right.
Yeah, but not as anyway. All right, so let me play this right quick. This is about 5 minutes, so let me go ahead.
Welcome back, strangers. In the 1940s, a series of mysterious disappearances and murders caused locals to abandon the town of Portlock, Alaska. Many believe these deaths were caused by the Nanticoke, a Bigfoot-like creature lurking on the outskirts of town. What really happened in this small Alaskan village that made all 31 residents flee in terror? Portlock was a thriving fishing village. The area is known for its scenic beauty, with towering mountains, glaciers, and abundant wildlife. It was an active cannery community until it was abandoned. The town gained national attention when a series of unexplained and unsolved deaths occurred in the small town. The exact number of victims and details of the deaths vary, but it's widely believed that several people were murdered in the town over a period of several years. Despite the extensive investigations by law enforcement, no suspect was ever identified and the case remains open. The Portlock murders continue to be the subject of much speculation in the area, with many believing that a serial killer was responsible for the deaths, while other locals believe that the attacks were caused by a local Bigfoot-like creature and may be one of the best examples of a violent encounter with the elusive creature. Bigfoot is often described as a large, hairy, ape-like creature that is said to inhabit the remote areas of the Pacific Northwest region of the United States and Canada. Locals thought that they had their own version of Bigfoot in the area known as the Nanticoke, but they hadn't had any problems with the creature until the unexplained events that began occurring in the area. Their first reports that something was amiss in Portlock came from the cannery camp that struggled to keep staff. Many of the men kept leaving because something was bothering the camp. The camp was filled with fear and uncertainty as unexplained events occurred almost every day, such as food going missing and equipment being destroyed. Hunters and gold miners in the area began going missing at an unusually high rate. One man who was out chopping wood was found murdered by a single blow that would have been impossible for a human to inflict. One group of hunters was stalking a deer when they noticed a huge set of footprints that were also following it. They continued tracking the deer and eventually came across a gruesome scene. They found huge amounts of blood surrounded by 18-inch footprints, yet there was no carcass to be found. The footprints continued on into the foggy mountains, but none of the hunters were brave enough to follow. One man was walking along the beach when he saw a huge hairy man destroying fishing wheels along the coast. He ran back to his house to get his gun, and when he returned, the giant man simply stared at him and walked off. Bodies began washing up in the lagoon with strange wounds that no bear could inflict. The townspeople began to panic and abandon the area. In 1950, the post office closed, and the last resident left Portlock. There's no credible evidence to suggest that a Bigfoot-like creature was responsible for the Portlock, Alaska murders. The idea that Bigfoot or any other unknown species could have been involved in the deaths is purely speculation and is not supported by any scientific or forensic evidence. The Portlock murders remain unsolved, and the cause of the deaths have yet to be determined. It's also important to note that any claims involving Bigfoot and violence are extremely rare and none of them have ever been substantiated. Despite numerous reported sightings and alleged evidence, there is still no scientific proof of Bigfoot's existence, and many scientists and experts consider the Bigfoot phenomena to be a simple combination of folklore, hoaxes, and misidentification of natural phenomena. The scientific community is highly skeptical of all Bigfoot claims. Until there is solid evidence to support the existence of the creature, it remains a matter of simple...
Well, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of gorilla?
Okay.
Well, a mountain lion.
McGilligrill.
But the mountain lion or
now,
panther can't pick up a freaking farming implement and smash somebody over the head with it and then toss it about 40 feet away.
No.
Yeah, mountain lions aren't known to cause blunt force trauma. They do kind of like the slashing bite thing. So yeah.
Yep, they'll bite him in the neck or arm or whatever. Kill him.
Yeah. Well, one of the incidents that wasn't mentioned in that, and I guess the guy didn't have enough time, doing all his disputes of Bigfoot lore. But there was an incident on a boat where
the houseboat.
A houseboat. Somebody found blood, like painting it, and in the blood was a gigantic footprint. Of course, this is like no photographs were taken, but that's. Like several people made that statement. But that thing about it is he's right. Bigfoot lore doesn't usually have violence in it, but at the same time, Yeti lore has all sorts of violence in it, and so if this was not a Sasquatch, but if this was a Yeti, that would explain the more violent encounters, but whoever this Yeti was, he had a taste for it, man.
It's almost like the Yetis are the Sasquatch's grumpy cousins.
Yeah, well, if you call grumpy being your homicidal cousin,
Yeah, they're homicidal.
So
very territorial.
Very territorial, and they don't give two shits. Okay. Now the polar, if people considered grizzly bears as being like the most scary. Okay. But if you look at grizzly bear like violence, it's nowhere near as dangerous as the polar bear. There's polar bear violence. They're not up there chilling out and drinking Coke. Okay. Polar bears are murdering the shit out of anything in their immediate vicinity. And thanks to conservation efforts, which has basically kept them out of any kind of consequences of their actions, they're actually overpopulated and became a huge menace for the ecosystem up in the north.
Some of the polar bears have been breeding with grizzlies, and now you get bloody grizzlies.
Yeah.
So, grizzlies as well.
Grizzlies, what?
Grizzlies or parkours, one of the two.
Yeah. I don't know that parkours have grizzly in them. I'll just they are grizzly, but I don't think they have grizzly in them.
The scarier bear to worry about is Kodiak bears, because they're only on Kodiak Island and they don't see people a lot.
And they're the size of a bus too. So
yeah.
All right, so
you're cuddly and fuzzy.
They're so cute.
Well, polar bears may be cute, but they have murdered the shit out of the seal population almost to extinction. Because
we
climate
have
change
corporations
idiots.
that put them on their product to sell more product with a
Coca-Cola.
smile and Coca-Cola and all that shit.
There you go.
I think it's
most
funny.
polar bears. Go ahead.
No, I think it's funny that you have these idiots that go out there and they want to, like, like with buffalo, they want to get up close and hug them and stuff like that. Don't do it because it's going to end badly.
Yeah,
it's going to end very badly. It's going to end very badly. Polar bears
all these
are
videos you see these people coming up to buffaloes and stuff like that. They're like, don't.
They get trampled. And
I can't remember. I can't remember which of the films it was, but it's just, for some reason when you're saying that, Abby, people want to get up close. It just reminded me on, was it like Dr. Dolittle 2?
Yeah.
Was it? And Steve Irwin's on the telly, and he's like, I'm going to sneak up behind this crocodile.
Oh, yeah,
and then what he doesn't realize is when he gets up close, I'm going to turn around and bite his arm off. He's like,
yeah, that was a funny scene. That was funny.
I just remember people saying that.
That was funny, dude. That guy, an adrenaline freak. That freaking Steve Irwin.
Oh,
yeah.
That's unfortunately.
Danger.
That's
yeah,
what
he actually got killed by the most benign animal that he handled. That's a hilarious thing.
Yeah.
But he was actually heavy into conservation. He did a lot more than just that crazy
he did.
But
into conservation.
Yeah, check out his son sometime. His son is like spitting image of him. I mean,
Bob.
Bob. He's a twin. Yep. But anyway, so back to the subject at hand. But yeah, polar bears are like hella aggressive. I mean, they're scariest bears possible. I mean, they just kill the hell out of anything in their environment. And because of the conservation idiots allowing them to overpopulate, they've started terrorizing like lower environs, and that wiped out population in the Antarctic. But basically, the thing about it is, though, is animals that are in colder environments tend to be more aggressive because they're on the edge of survival, and so it's like they're hardwired to be like predators. I mean, absolute alpha predators, and so. When you got the Yeti and the Sasquatch is kind of like chilling out. He's kind of like hanging out at the riverside, drinking water, and building his little huts and things like that. They're not usually aggressive, but Yeti, you see story after story. The Yartloff Pass is just one of many, but they tend to be the Himalayan lore on Yeti is very, very deep and very disturbing, and there's just like a lot of stories of people being attacked and scared to death or beaten to death or surrounded and by mysterious gigantic man-like creatures and things like that.
Anyway, Time Prophet.
The opinions expressed by Time Prophet are not the
because the monkey suit is too hot. Yada yada.
All right.
Yes, it's too hot. They don't have air conditioning in there. It's not breathable.
It's just mysterious to me that somebody who believes in absolutely nothing supernatural keeps showing up at a Cryptids and Conspiracy show. So,
you have to have the yin and the yang, bunny. You got to have both sides of every story.
I have a yin yang. Also a ding-a-ling. From 1870 to 2014, there were 20 people killed and 73 confirmed polar bear attacks in the Arctic Ocean's 5 range states: Canada, Russia, Norway, Denmark, and the United States.
Yeah. And more than any other bear. Like almost twice as much as any other bear. So, unless you do like the grizzly man, whatever his name was, who thought that he could play hug a bear all the time, and then wound up in bear scat.
Him and his girlfriend. So they got them both killed.
There you go. Yeah.
Since
polar
bears.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, girl.
Since polar bears, have to take it to the next level to be the apex predators and stuff like that. Would the attacks be consistent with the polar bear attack? That these Yeti attacks, would they be consistent with polar bear or worse?
Well, it's entirely possible, I guess. I don't know that the polar bears were ever like pictured in the Ural Mountains.
Polar bears. You're not going to find polar bears in the Himalayas. There is some four-legged predators in the area, but they're not as large. As large as, say, what the Yeti has been reported as.
Right.
But that's near Nepal, India, things like that.
Well,
Russia,
a lot of
I know
the damage
Russians
that
have
was
bears.
a lot of the damage that's reported has been kind of like blow damage and not claw damage. Polar bears are very teeth and claw oriented.
Oh,
and
yeah,
so,
they're hungry. They're going to eat you.
Yeah, they're there to eat something. They're not there just to murder the shit out of
when we were watching
that
footage that showed a lot of the gorillas and things like that, it just got me thinking. Some of the creatures will hit like this, they'll hit like that with a pounding, and I was thinking to myself, is it possible that it's some kind of large ape-like creature?
Yeah, it's possible. I'm just, I mean, the thing. Go ahead.
If you have something that's reportedly 8 to 10, and in some cases 12 foot tall, okay, in some Sasquatch sightings, Bigfoot, whatever you want to call it, even Yeti, something that freaking tall. If you're an average size human being who's roughly 6 foot and something is 4 feet taller than you, they're just going to hit straight down on you on your head with their arm, and you're done.
Probably.
So it's going to be like what you were saying, Cole. It's just a bang, and that you're done.
I've got an idea.
That big.
I've got an idea. Here's what we need to do to mitigate these. These polar bear or bear interactions with people. We just leave them a picnic basket. That way, don't leave anybody alone.
Picnic basket. Hey, boo boo. Picnic basket. Ranger Smith.
Okay, so since 1784 has been 82 fatal human bear conflicts by wild brown bears in North America. Yellowstone National Park seen 8 since being established in 1872. Okay, so. Yeah, there's definitely been a higher frequency of polar bear attacks than bear attacks, but I mean, bears are nothing to mess with. We've got black bears around here, and they're pretty docile. They don't really mess with you. But grizzly bears have like the worst reputation.
They're small. The black bears are smaller, aren't they?
Yeah, they're generally.
Yeah.
Now you mess with their cub. I mean, with their cub, they're going to rearrange your day.
Exactly.
But for the most part, black bears are just pretty much like, you leave me alone, I'll leave you alone. Okay. But for the most part, they're live and let live animal. But there has been some aggressive black bears that have gotten a taste for.
But a Mini Cooper comes to the knee of a Bigfoot. Ooh. Nice to know.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to get a Mini Cooper.
Hey, not Brian. Hello again.
Not Brian.
Hello. Anyway.
I hear there are a lot of bears in Jellystone Park too. If there is, boo-boo.
There is.
Yeah.
As we're looking at picnic basket.
The black bears are most peaceful.
Yeah.
Mostly.
I've actually
cocaine black bear.
I've actually got near me about I could probably go about maybe 15 minutes away from me and be in black bear territory. So I'm very familiar with black bears.
Right.
For the most part, they're good guys. For the most part, they're pretty.
Are these
friendly.
bear whores?
I don't want to know.
No,
I don't either.
No, I don't know how. I don't know why a bear would have a whore. Not really sure. That's part of their culture. I'm just saying. Yeah. Poncho's giving some pretty interesting stuff over here. I don't know why you're not highlighting it, but cougars in North America has been about 25 to 27. 25 to 27.
What the hell? Put it up.
In the past 130 years. I'm going to read it, damn it. All right.
Do it.
There you go.
Has trouble with buttons.
All right. Anyway. And
I was given a cabin in Yellowstone
to sleep in due to
sighting black bears with cubs in the park, motorcycle camping.
Mm-hmm. There you go. All right. Okay.
I've known a few cougars and they were friendly.
I think you're talking about older ladies. I'm pretty sure you're talking about older ladies.
Those are called parkours.
No.
Ding, 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 circle. It comes
walked into that one.
We have a winner.
Yeah.
We have a winner.
I walked into that one. I definitely walked into that one. So, okay. All right. Okay, we're coming up on I guess I'm kind of
53 minutes and 28 seconds.
So. Is
that what you're telling me?
Oh,
you know,
show at least.
All right.
There's parkours in all levels of life, Bunny.
All right. Okay, so let's do our vote. Of course, in Wookiee's chat, you're gonna have one one debunked.
Wow.
Already
out
of the box.
Are we going to end in the polls now? That's what you want to do? So if you're over in my chat, please make sure that you have registered your vote for the 4 selections.
Go ahead. Do your debunked. Go ahead. Do your debunked time profit.
Confirmed in the middle.
As predictable as you are.
Debunked.
So
please.
All right, my chat. I'm going to end it very shortly.
Yes, I'm going to be ending it here. And
let me check this out.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, end. So my poll is ended.
All right, ending poll. There you go.
Ending poll, and I have 11 votes. I have 11 votes.
Mm-hmm.
Holy crap!
Wow, you're popular.
Wow.
Awesome. Apparently. Holy shit.
they don't know
I had
better.
3 votes.
Captain.
I had 3 votes. 1 debunked, 1 confirmed, 1 in the middle.
Benny the timey-wimey-limey says, I bet you have. Ha ha ha. AKA the captain.
All right.
Funny. Okay, so I got percentages here.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go with the percentages on mine.
Yeah.
I got confirmed. It's a tie. I got confirmed and undecided, both at 45%. And
okay.
Coming in third is in the middle at 9% and 0 for debunked.
0 for debunked?
0.
Time profit. Why didn't you vote time profit?
Who knows?
I don't know. Well,
What's
it is what it is. That's mysterious.
Votes. Yeah.
Okay. Add 1 to each from mine between debunked, confirmed, and in the middle. So I didn't have any undecideds either. So, all right. So let's go around the horn. Let's start with Mr. Gruberab.
That is me.
What do you think? Are Sasquatches scarier than Yeti?
Oh, definitely.
If they exist, are Sasquatches scarier than Yeti?
If they exist, then I would say yes, they definitely are. Definitely more scary. Seem to be really peed off a lot of the time. So yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Confirmed.
No problem, Poncho. Usually the title of the episode is the question. So yeah, I should have probably written that down better. Anyway, roughly 710 horse riding deaths per year. Yes, there way more horse riding deaths, and that's pretty much just the jockeys. So okay, single notes like a pipe organ on a fishing trip up Canada, or pipe organ in a lake, no cabins. All 6 of us heard the notes. So I don't know what that is. That's weird.
That's crazy, man.
So, okay. All right. So we got it confirmed from Mr. Barab. Yeah.
I'm not even trying.
Oh, please. Cruel's like a teddy bear. He ain't going to hurt a fly. Come on.
Yes, a hairless teddy bear.
Hairless teddy bear. Totally. All right. It's okay, Abby. You got an opinion this time, or are you going undecided?
I gotta say, they are scarier than
okay
Sasquatches.
All righty. What about you, Wookie?
Well, I'm definitely confirmed they're parkours.
They're all parkours. What do you mean?
So yeah, I'm
Not the
confirmed.
question.
There's enough evidence that yes, I believe that it is, so confirmed with me.
All righty. Okay. Moving away from the mic. I think he said confirmed, so we're going to say confirmed. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to say confirmed. If Yeti do indeed exist, it seems like the Yeti stories are a lot more scarier than the Sasquatch stories. So I'm going to say confirmed.
Especially
on
that
my count.
Scooby-Doo episode.
Zoinks!
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Ghost of the Yeti.
Totally useless information. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome. Anytime. Other useless information is available.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Yes, but is it wanted?
Once again, asking myself why
always,
I do this to myself. It is what it is. All right. Let me go ahead and hit confirm.
Confirm.
There you go. So we're saying confirmed.
In the world,
That Yetis,
in
if
the
they
world
do
of
exist,
in the world of cryptozoology,
Cryptozoology.
as the Bigfoots and stuff like that are concerned, and hairy creatures in the woods, the state of Alaska does have the scarier breed than, say, in any other portion of the North America. There's a whole area there that's called like the Alaskan Triangle, which is like the center of Alaska. There's a lot of weird shit that goes on there. A lot of government stuff, just a lot of supernatural weird stuff. And the Yeti is part of that there. And again, they're a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more savage than, say, the ones in the other parts of North America or South America.
All right.
Yeah.
Could they be some kind of a science experiment gone awry, much like the parkours were?
Yes. Yes, indeed.
Probably. Sounds about right, yeah.
Ding, ding,
Parkours
ding, ding.
are results from missing fathers and poor life choices. They're not an experiment.
And drinking and meth.
So.
Well, some of those started out as experiments and ended badly. Anyway.
Yeah, unfortunately, that one episode of Breaking Bad has ruined that song "Wendy" for me for all time. I'm just saying. Anyway.
Oh yeah.
Everybody knows it's Wendy. Yeah.
That's
anyway. All right. So thank you all for coming. Thank you to the. I'm not going to thank this panel, but
I'll thank you that.
They showed up.
Thank you, not Brian. Thank you, Poncho Zorch. G-Bro.
Thank you, panel, for helping me.
Kennedy.
Not at all, as usual.
B-Dog was in the
You're welcome.
For a few seconds.
And say B-Dog, and who else was here? Oh yeah, Philbo Baggins.
Gobby showed up.
Gobby stopped by.
Gob
Thank you, Gobby. Time Prophet. Wolfier stopped by. So if I forgot anybody, I apologize.
Say Poncho? Yeah,
I did say Poncho Zorch. Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you all for coming. We had a good time. We do this every Saturday night that there isn't a personal disaster. every Saturday night at 7 o'clock. So we're going to come up with a topic for next week.
Let's
we're
what
on
conspiracy do we want to? Yeah, what do we want to do for conspiracy?
Do we want to complete the trilogy and do
I say we do the trilogy.
Oklahoma bombing?
I say we go there.
We have to.
Okay.
Let's do the trilogy. Let's finish it.
Yes, let's complete the trilogy. Oklahoma.
The stream is
Okay.
going down.
Okay. So what would the question be for Oklahoma? Oklahoma bombing. Was Timothy McVeigh like?
Oh, did he act alone?
Did he act alone? Oh, okay. That'll work. That'll work.
Like, was he a patsy?
There you go. All right. So we'll do that next week. We'll do Oklahoma City, the FBI edition. The FBI was wrong edition. What's Timothy McVeigh set up? All right. No problem.
I like Phil Bow's.
Well, Phil Bow, no, he was not a Yeti. No, he was not a Yeti.
Never know.
You never know.
All right, so that's going to be next week. We're going to complete the trilogy, and that's what we'll do next week. So, all right, thank you, everybody, for coming, and we will see you then.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Have a great night. We'll see you next week.
Yes.